All right. As you're jumping in, let us know what city and state you're from, what country. I know we get you from all over. Dolores, where are you located?
I'm in Simi Valley, California, Southern California, and I love it.
Nice. And how long have you been there?
I moved to Simi Valley in 2002, but I'm originally from the East Coast. I moved to California in the early 90s, fell in love with the weather, the area, and never wanted to leave.
That's so cool. I like that. Very cool. And a real estate agent, how long have you been doing that?
I've been a real estate agent since 2015. Before that, I was in corporate world. Very different background, but I use a lot of the knowledge I gained from corporate America to help my clients.
Very nice. I bet that comes in really handy coming from corporate. That's an
It
advantage, I
does.
think.
It
So,
really is. It's been interesting because people thought I was crazy leaving the corporate world, but I use a lot of the tools and skills I learned, how to run a business, how I want my present myself to clients and just all around processes, systems, just all of it really
all right.
helps. Coming from
And
a world that I was regulated in the background, we were
uh,
governed by the FDA. Contract is everything to me. So understanding we follow rules, we follow a contract, we have a certain way we have to do things.
that's good. I like that. I like that. It's always good to have someone by your side like you who's following the guidelines to help us all out because you'll be like, hey, you know what? You could be doing it like this. It's always nice. And look, that's also why we have you here because you've been growing your pipeline and you've been growing your business along the way. I mean, you've been in it for about 10 years. But
Mhm.
you have started to do some things differently lately. One of those is Seller Appointment Hub, but I also want to talk about other things that you've been adding or changing because I feel, and I know you do too, because we talked yesterday. I feel like, and you do too, that the world's been changing a lot more rapidly for us. And I want to know how you're adapting to that. Like, is it mindset more? Is it actions? Are you having to work more? How does this look like to you?
I think all of the above, really. It's looking at the beginning of the year, I decided I'm going to take my business to the next level. There was already
Okay.
talks about the lawsuit, and I decided early on in the year I had to make changes if I wanted to continue to grow. Mindset has been the biggest thing, and really taking a look, stepping back and taking a look at my business. Where am I spending my money? I'm the CEO of my business. No matter what anybody says, this is my personal business and I have to be accountable for it. So I looked at where am I spending my money? Where are my clients coming from? How can I improve? What do I need to do to change and evolve with the times? Learning
Okay.
more about social media, all of the above.
All right, let's go through that because I love how you said you decided, hey, I decided that this year's going to be a good year. By the way, I love that mindset because I'm like, look, we can either decide that everything is horrible and things are going down the toilet, or decide that, you know what, I'm not going to participate in that. I'm going to have a good year, and these are the things I'm looking at. So let's go through those. For you, money decisions, like what did you cut back on, and what did you decide to move forward with? Brand new, or maybe you decided to keep and expand.
One of the things I decided was looking at what I'm really good at within my process and what can I delegate out. So I made the choice to hire an assistant that early in the year. That's not for everybody, but I'm at a point in my business where I need some leverage. I need to leverage
Nice.
my time and find the people that can really do what I need them to do. What am I good at and what don't I like to do? My job is to sell houses, working with buyers, working with sellers, and how I put myself in a position to do that better and free up some of the time.
Ooh, I like that.
That was
That's a big leap. So hold on, how did you decide to do that? Like, where did that decision come from? Was it for you saying, wow, you know what? I need to have a better year. I need to focus on what I'm great at. Where did that decision, did that take like 2 or 3 or 4 years, or did it just happen?
oh, absolutely. No,
Okay.
it was a gradual thing. I had a girl that worked with me part-time this last summer to help me with like I know how to use social media. That's not my best quality. So I knew I needed some help to get more out there, right?
Okay.
So the younger kids, was somebody my son knew. She had some background in real estate and some social media. So I started playing with like, how can I utilize people that are good at their job? Because I truly believe in real estate, everybody has a role to play, and let's find the right people to put in the positions where I need the help. And that doesn't look the same for everybody. So I knew like I needed help with, I had a great TC in the background, building my team and surrounding myself with the right people.
Got it. I
So
like.
had a great TC. Can I do the paperwork? Absolutely. Is that going to make me money? No. So I hire someone who I trust to do my paperwork. What was the next step? Getting more into marketing, really looking at what am I doing? Am I a secret agent? Do people know who I am? And how can I get out there more?
I
Looking
like
at,
that.
yeah, I mean, it's interesting to think about because I have a presence in my area, but I know I can help a lot more clients. So how do I put my face out there? What do I need to do to market myself more?
So I love this because I wrote down here on my notes, it's the who and the how, right? So like you want to expand. A lot of us want to expand. We're doing really well, but then we forget to hire and then we go back down because we can't do everything. So I
Right.
love that as you got to a peak, I mean, you've got a brokerage, right? You're doing well. So you reached a peak and you're like, you know what? I want to continue to go back up more, or at least have this be a little bit more steady. Let's add to our staff and bring in an admin to focus on social, to focus on the other things that I don't really like. I can do, you said you can do the paperwork, but you know what? I'd rather be focused on relationships, or here's the key piece that we miss, which you didn't. You can now decide because you've got a little bit more time. You can decide what's out there that fits your business, like what tech, or maybe it was a simple process that you were missing in connecting with your past clients, or a system you can put in place because now you've got the people who can put that in place. So,
Yeah.
money, I like that. Money decisions, leverage, you're leveraging your money through the people you hire, which I love. Now, what tech did you start adding, or software, or lead gen? What did that look like this year?
So I went back and reevaluated the bulk of my career. I've been doing online leads, and that's something that I know and love. I love doing, and I still do referrals and repeat clients. But it's again, we can't. And what I saw a few years ago when I was only focused on online leads, those dry up. Interest rates went up. Everything changes, right? But I was like, okay, where else am I getting my business? So I couldn't just rely on one source. So I looked at where are all my leads coming from? What can I do to improve each one? So I looked at my online leads at the beginning of the year. Where am I spending my money? Are they working or are they not? What's my return on investment? Does it continue to
Yeah.
make sense? Do I change areas where I'm getting my clients from? Do I look at partnering up with somebody so we can get a bigger market share? What does that look like? And then what processes am I doing to nurture my clients that I've already worked with? I had the opportunity. How can I help them continue to keep me in mind? So there's a couple of different pieces of your business that you have to look at. And I had to segment each one to see what I could add. So I started building, I invested in some coaching, looking at some skills that I could do, how to automate. A lot of our stuff is repeatable, right? It's the same conversations we're having. Oh my gosh, we're going to list your house. I'm going to do step by step. This is what I do. The nitty gritty of what happens in each one changes based on the house, the client, and what their needs are. Same with buyers. So I started creating, I'm big on email templates, having checklists, a
Hmm.
process for everything. And that's where a lot of it was in my mind. I had some of it on paper, some of it in spreadsheets. So my admin helped me put it all together. So we have checklists in, I've tried a couple of different CRMs. Um, and we put checklists in there because I do work in a brokerage. I have agents that, I work with. And so everything that I'm building, I'm trying to give back. And everything I learn, I try to share with other people. So we build a lot of the checklists within our CRMs.
Ooh, I'm gonna need some of those checklists. Just so
And
you know
I'm
to
an
look.
open book
I'd like to see some
because
of
I'm an open book, right? I,
them.
selling real estate is not a secret. And I know there's a lot of agents out there that don't want to share, but why? Anything I share, you know, what works for me may not work for you. You may have to tweak it to your style. But
Mm.
honestly, I love collaborating and talking with other agents. What are you doing? What are you seeing in the market? How are you getting offers accepted? Hey, I have this challenge with a house. Take a look at, what do you think of this price? I have agents come and talk to me, and I'm big on that because this is a relationship business, not only with our clients, but also the agents. The agents that are doing business, we're going to run into over and over again. And we're going to stand the test of time, even with all the changes happening. Always going to have sellers selling homes. We're always going to have buyers looking.
So with that, you are now in a position to, because you hired someone to allow you to be able to build better processes, systems like the
Yeah.
checklists, right?
Yep.
I think now you're in a position to be able to go to a company like Seller Appointment Hub or whoever and look at this and be like, wait, now I can handle a lot more of these leads coming through because there's a process in place. Now you're able to follow up with them better. You're able to manage these clients a lot longer term because sometimes, they call in or we get them and they're not as ready as we thought they were, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes we gravitate as agents who are busy, don't have help all the time. We gravitate to those that are ready right now. And then 6 months later, they list with somebody else, and then it's our fault, right? Because we didn't follow up. So take me through then your decision as you're expanding your your ability to bring in great tech, great software, great lead gen. How did you end up picking Seller Appointment Hub?
I have a good friend that I talk to pretty regularly, and we're continually looking at what's happening in the business, what is he seeing, any suggestions, right? Because I don't have exposure to everything. I don't have enough time to do that. So that goes back to that collaboration. I talked about what leads I had, the sources I had, and what other options are out there that I may not know about. And I want to gear more towards listings this year. Sold a couple of houses in the last few years. I know my pain points and what I went through, and I want to be a better agent and share, kind of address some of those issues I went through as a seller. And
Okay.
so he brought up Seller Hub and told me a little bit about it. I did more research and I thought, man, this is part of the piece that I'm missing. We have somebody reaching out. They're responding to ads. We have a concierge team, a support team that's going to talk with our clients, vet them a little bit more for us, right? Gather some more information. And the best thing I love is that they do a warm handoff. They'll send me a text. Hey, I've talked to this person. I'm doing a nice introduction for you guys. And it gives me an opportunity to have some insight into what they're going through and what they need to do before I have that first call with them. So it gives me a chance to do a little research. So when I call and pick up the phone, I can say, hey, my partner or my teammate has told me that you're interested in selling your home. This is what I can do for you. Let's talk a little bit more, whether it's a phone appointment or an in person. I already have some insight into how I can help them best.
Okay.
It's
So I need you to give me an example because I know you had a closing with them. And this is why I wanted to talk to you because
yeah,
two reasons. One, you and I have been in the business for a bit, so I've I've tried companies who are like, hey, you know what? We'll set the appointment, we'll make the calls for you, right? And I
yeah,
got
yeah.
burned once pretty badly. I
Been
think
there, done that.
it was like, I don't know. Unfortunately, it was like $4,000. And then they don't return your call back. It's like, hello, hi, hey. And then I'm like, oh no, I got duped, right? I got burned. And then I see it in lab code, so I have to put it up there. I'm like, hey guys, these people are evil, right? And then we get the other side of this, which is those companies that are giving you good information. The challenge is the sellers aren't there yet. It's more like top of funnel, maybe sometimes middle of funnel, which means it's going to be a year or two in most cases. Is that what you found with this company? Because that was my main question why I wanted to have you on. What's the actual factual thing you're experiencing?
I would say out of the leads that I've gotten so far, it would be 50-50. early on. And same thing, I've tried a lot of different lead sources. They say they're going to do all this. Do they really deliver? So, we have to put a little faith and do our research before we work with them. So Seller Hub, I went to, signed up with them, and I started in April. First set of clients I got, one of them was ready to go. One of them I'm nurturing. He's not quite ready. Let's be honest. Not everybody is. But I do like the fact that I'm talking to them early on in the process, as long as I have a good nurturing system and I know how to do it. Because the biggest thing is I could sell a house, no problem. But where are they going? What do they need? What information? So the earlier I get involved in the process, I'm good with that. I know that not everybody's ready to sell. But so it's been 50-50 with us since I started in April. We have 3 contracts signed. One of them actually closed yesterday. I have,
Hold on, time out, because I have questions.
yeah,
You started in April, right?
yes,
So let's just call it mid-April. May, June, July, August, September, October. So 6 months. You got 6 months, and then you closed one, and then you have two that are in contract, you said?
yes, we have a signed listing agreement. I'm partnering with one of the agents in my office. Because they were Spanish speaking, I don't speak Spanish. So that's where if I can't service them, I need to partner with the right agent. So the agents I give referrals to, I need to make sure they're doing how I would deliver service. So I work
Oh,
with them closely. And so she has a listing signed, and she also
okay.
has a buyer broker agreement because they're going to be selling and buying. So we
Oh,
have,
I like that.
yes. And
That's a good.
then I know it's good, right? And then we have another gentleman who is ready to sign. He's the listing agreement's out. He's signing with us, and it's
Okay.
going to be a long term. We have to get his house ready. We have to do some prep work.
Okay, take me through the process of the one you just closed so I understand how
Yeah,
this actually works, because we're all of us here and in lab
yeah,
coats, we're always looking to see what's actually working, and we want proof, because I'm like a shiny objects guy. I'm like, let me test that out. Let me test that out.
yeah.
And so, as much as I don't want to be, I am. So take me through how you got this one that closed. What happened? How did you get the listing? And then when did you close it? I want to know like timelines.
Okay. I got the lead in mid-July,
Okay.
and the seller was selling house in Granada Hills. And her time frame in the appointment, in the summary of what we got from Seller Hub, it said she wasn't looking to sell for like 3 to 6 months. So
Okay.
it was set up originally as a phone appointment. So I chatted with her. I talked a little bit. I confirmed some information about the house. I confirmed what she was looking to do, why she had the time frame that she had, really kind of getting to know her. And I could explain to her like who I am and how I do my business.
Okay.
And it was just an easy conversation because the biggest thing is we have to build rapport and get to know each other. We're dating,
Mm.
right? It's a relationship.
So hold on that piece, because yesterday we do live prospecting, and
Yep.
yesterday I talked to a seller inquiry that came through, and he's like, I'm just looking, and my job is to build a relationship, right? It doesn't matter how long it takes. Most agents want to go for the close. How does your conversation sound like when you reached out? So let's say you called me. What are your expectations with these, and where do you like to take the call?
I like to take the call to get to know truly what their needs are because
Hmm.
there's a selling process. We know the steps, what we have to do, but every situation is unique. And so I need to know what they need from me and what are their concerns, because then I can come up with a better strategy on how I can help them best. If she
Okay.
says, I can't sell until November because my son lives with me and he needs a place to go and we're working on his time frame. She has a place to move, but we need to help the other person living at the house. Okay, great. So we can work through what are some scenarios on how we can help them best. So with her or with you, I would say, okay, tell me about where you're going. What do you need? Do you have to move by a certain time?
Got it.
Do you have any concerns about your
And
house?
and these questions actually make sense because the people, so I'm just comparing it to yesterday's call for me.
Yeah.
The people you're getting are more like layups. They're warm. They're really warm. They already know you're going to call. They already know that it's an appointment. They have an interest in selling their home versus this is why your questions make sense. Versus me, I'm kind of like, well, I've got your value. What are you thinking of doing? Like refinancing, buying, or just are you just curious? Yours is past the curiosity stage. You know they want to sell at some point for sure.
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
got it. Okay.
Most of these are. I mean, I had one person that said he was just curious, but my understanding, my experience, if you're curious about the value of your home, you're doing something within the next year or two. Are you going to refinance? Are you looking to take equity out of the house? Do you have a child you're going to put in college? Like
Yeah.
what most people don't, or just like for curiosity's sake, but most times people are looking at their home value or want information because they are going to do something and they don't want to commit to it. It's like walking into a car lot. Oh, I'm looking at car. I'm just looking. Don't, I'm good. I don't need any help. And some people
Yeah.
feel that way, right? So it's really, like I said, having those questions, knowing where we're coming from. So with Seller Hub, they gave me some information. I knew the time frame was out there. Like, okay, great. Let's talk about what that would look like if we're going to sell in a couple months. Let's talk about your home value if we were to put it on the market now. What do you want to sell it for? Where are you going? What do we need
Ooh,
to do to improve it? What are you
yeah.
looking to
Gotcha.
do? Do you need to sell it quick? Do you want top dollar? Okay, great. Now I know if I want to sell it for top dollar, let me come see the house because I can give some improvement suggestions on what we need to do to prep it to get it ready.
Got it. So
So,
the conversations are at the bottom. It's like, hey, uh, when do you want to? Why do you want to? Me,
right,
I'm in
right,
discovery phase with top of funnel, middle of funnel. It's like, do you? Right? You're more like, you do.
right.
Now explain to me why. I like it. Okay. So then explain to me what happened with the Granada Hills one. You got the lead in July.
July,
When did you
and I
list it?
met with her. I listed in August. She told me 3 to 6 months, and she ended up changing her mind and choosing to go early. I knew the area of Granada Hills was popular. I knew it was a desirable location just from the, and I was very familiar. I went to Cal State
Yeah.
Northridge. I lived down the street. So I knew the area. I knew it really well. So I knew what the benefits of this home were. But we started with a phone conversation. And I always leave it, look, when you're ready, I'm ready. Right? I have information. I'm going to continue sending you information about the process. It's cost me anything. I am already sharing this information. The more they get to know me, before I actually get to the house, the easier it is because they get a feel for who I am and it's a trust thing, right? And I already had like I got a sneak peek into what some of her concerns were about the house or the whole selling process. And so I could address some of those concerns up front. So she decided at the end of the call, she said, you know what? I was thinking about it. Let's just meet in person. I want to meet you and get to see you face to face. So we actually scheduled an appointment for the following week. She was at her um, new home up in the mountains. So we scheduled time for the next week. And then she called me the morning of that appointment and she said, I need to cancel. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I said, is there a reason why we need to cancel? Are we rescheduling? What do you need? What happened? And there was a situation at home, a family emergency. She couldn't do it. And in my mind, working on at least, I'm like, oh, here we go. Is this what we're doing? She's going to cancel on me. And she was a very nice lady. And she said, I apologize. Let's schedule time for a few days from now. Is that okay with you? I said, absolutely. Because my thing is, if I say no, you wasted my time. Nobody, you don't do that. So
No,
I was
then you
like, yeah,
sound
of
like a
course.
jerk and you're like, it's not relationship based. Yeah, I get you. You're
Right.
right.
So it was more like, okay, let's reschedule. And is there anything I can help with your current situation? Right? Because is it something going on at the house? Is it really a family emergency? Is there something that I can help you with you immediately? And she said, no, let's talk on the weekend. So I ended up going out there. And when I go into these homes and I talk to people, yes, I want to see the house. But again, now we're face to face. If I get in front of somebody face to face, I know I have a better chance of converting somebody. And
Yeah, I
it's
think
more
most
about,
real estate agents do. You're right.
yeah. And it's about listening to her more, watching her body language, her showing me the house, some concerns. The house needed some updating, but it's in a desirable location. So I sat down and I talked to her about the
Mhm.
house itself. She wanted to
Okay.
know the value. And she actually, in Seller Hub, the price she gave was much lower than I thought we could get for it. And
In
so
seller, the company you're
the,
using for
yeah,
selling
they,
seller, right?
yeah. So the summary said she was, am I allowed to share numbers? You want me to tell? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
can I
yeah.
share? Yeah.
Numbers.
So she said she wanted $700,000 for her house. I did the comparables. I'm like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. We need to sell it for higher. Even in the condition, we could do modifications to make it even higher. But I'm like, I don't want to undersell a house. I want her to get true market value and give her a fair, you know, price on what I thought. And so
That's
we had to
cool.
work. And because my job is to sell the house, I don't want to overprice it because if you've ever had a listing sitting, that's a painful conversation every week.
Yeah, then
But I
we
also
look
don't,
we look like we suck at what we do. Yeah.
right. And so what we did was I went to the house, I looked around, we talked about her scenario, her son living there, some time constraints, and what I thought the home could go for in the current condition. She was moving on, she didn't need a place to stay. And so we said, okay. I said, what are you willing to do? I can give you suggestions on what we can do to get the house ready to sell for top dollar. We can
Mhm.
sell it as is, or,
Okay.
you know, what what makes the most sense to you? Because it had to make sense for her and her family situation.
Yeah. And what did she end up doing? Sell as is?
We sold it as is. She did a couple of minor things like her faucet was leaking.
Okay. Well,
Um,
it's the normal little thing.
Minor things, normal
You
little things.
you listed it in August and it closed when?
Yesterday. So what we did was
Okay. Got it. That's cool. So wait,
I
hold
will tell
on.
you,
July, you got the lead in July. You got the listing in August, and then the prepping, under contract, closing yesterday. And what was the
yes,
list
and
price?
we
What
had
was
a
it?
longer. So we listed for 799. I ended up with 12 offers and we ended up closing at 906. And we did not
Whoa.
accept the highest offer.
Wow. Okay. And did she already find a house? Or are you going to help her with
She
that
had already,
too?
she had a house she already moved to. So in the
Okay.
middle, I'll tell you, it was probably one of the most challenging escrows I've had in my history, but it was also the most rewarding.
Okay. Well, that's how it typically is. Like we're like that's the job that we don't get enough recognition for. It's the during the we're in escrow state, California.
Yeah.
During the escrow, during the under contract phase, where we have to deal with so many different people's personalities and perceptions and attitudes and all of this stuff. I think that is why I think we're paid what we're paid as agents. We hold things together because we're so creative. So, Dolores, so does this mean you're going to keep on using Seller Appointment Hub? I'm assuming it's a yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
From
Wait,
all,
does that mean you bought up the whole area? I don't know how it works.
no, um, you give them zip codes. So I have quite a few zip codes because I've been doing this a while. I have experience. I live in Simi Valley, but I lived all over the San Fernando Valley since I've moved
Okay.
to California. So I cover a lot of territory. And my previous, one of the previous real estate brokerages, I had exposure. I did business all over LA County
Got
and
it.
Ventura County. But I try to keep it closer to home because I feel like, yes, I can sell houses anywhere. But when you truly know the neighborhood, you really know the areas, it makes it easier. I knew what was going to sell Granada Hills House. I knew that they did food trucks on Friday night. I knew it was close to CSUN. I knew what was coming in the area. So that made a difference. But I do definitely keeping that is one of my biggest things. I'm seeing a good return on my investment pretty quickly. Will I just will this be the same forever? No, because as a business, I have to monitor. Are the leads still working for me? Will I make business decisions? But I've learned you have to keep your stuff at least 6 to 9 months to really see because
Mm.
you need to continue to monitor your
Oh,
business.
Also, and then we'll go for the close here. By the way, this is recorded. It'll go on the YouTube channel for Lab Code Agents, so you can watch it there. And the link to Seller Appointment Hub will be inside of there as well if you're looking for it. Dolores, one thing that I think you're in a better position for than, let's say, last year if you would take this on, would be you have the right processes and now systems in place thanks to the people you've hired. So it
And
allows you to be
continuous improvement. Yeah.
Yeah, it allows you to focus on more things to expand into and test out, right? So those things that you test out have a higher chance of success because of where you're at. And I think we forget that piece as agents.
Right.
So it's a good one. All right, you said something, and then I'll close out here. You said something that was cool because it reminded me of another agent that we interviewed maybe like a month ago. You said to her, when you called her up and she was like, I'm not sure when I'm ready, right? You said, when you're ready, I'm ready, right? And I love that because our friend Jason Campbell from San Antonio, he says, which I love, he says, the answer is always yes. I'm old school like that, which in spirit is the same thing. And I loved, I was like, wait a second, I've heard this before. I had to look my notes. This is why I take notes, Dolores. This is why I take notes.
I
All
do
right,
too. I'm old
Dolores.
school. I use paper.
Yes, you're in Simi Valley, California. You cover the San Fernando Valley. Everyone, if you've got referrals, obviously she's amazing. She wants to create and build relationships, not just with the people you send her way, but with other agents. So reach out to Dolores. Dolores, how do we get a hold of you? If people have questions about this or anything else in general for real estate.
Call, text, email me. They can DM me. I have social media, however they want. I think all my information's out there, right? You've provided all my information.
We
Um,
will. Let me just grab Dolores Park, Simi Valley.
and if anybody wants to chat about further about my experience with Seller Hub or anything that I'm doing, like I said, I'm an open book. What we do as real estate agents is not top secret.
Yeah. If listen, some agents think it's top secret, okay?
I know, but
But
I'm
it's
not like
not.
that because how do I learn, right? How do I continue to evolve? Talking with other agents, having opportunities to talk with you. And I appreciate your time and spend asking me these questions because I watch your stuff. I learn a lot from you and everybody you bring on the show.
Well, now we're learning from you. And I love this one really great example. It was a very extremely difficult one, but it was also very, very rewarding. So rewarding. So there it is. I put up the link to her Instagram right there. Please follow her, grab it if you have questions. She's available. She's also busy, so give her a little bit of time. And Dolores, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.